How close are we to getting back to some sense of normalcy where there are fewer guidelines and we don't think about the coronavirus on a daily basis?
You know, that's going to be up to us. And when I say up to us, I mean it's really how many people get vaccinated, how many people step up and say, you know, we've had enough of this. We've got to put an end to this terrible outbreak that's completely disrupted our lives.
What is that threshold?
So we have the vaccines available. You know, the threshold is something that we don't know. And the reason I say we don't know it is because you have to get to a situation like with measles, where you were like way 90+% of people were vaccinated and really got that kind of what we call herd immunity. You know what that number is because when it gets below that number, you start to see outbreaks like we saw some time ago in the New York City area with Hasidic Jewish people who were not getting vaccinated. But right now, if you've never been there, you don't know whether that's 80, 85, 90%. You just don't know. And when you don't know, the thing to do is to just do whatever you can to get as many people vaccinated as you can. And when you reach that point, you'll know it because you won't have any infections. But you really can't accurately predict what that number is.
Let's go back, Dr. Fauci, to the stepping up part, because if more people got the vaccine, we would be out of this much sooner. The science has shown that. And I heard you say that if people get it, we could maybe get back to normal in spring of 2022. So what do you say to people that think this FDA process was rushed? That how do we know that this is safe? Can you just hit on that a second? And how did you come up with spring of 2022?
Yeah. Well, let me answer your first question. First of all, Gail, it wasn't rushed. They meticulously went over every bit of data. Spring of 2022 is just an estimate, Gail. It means that if we can get a large majority, overwhelming majority of the people vaccinated, and we get through the winter okay, because remember, we're going to have the complication of influenza and other respiratory illnesses. If we can get through the winter okay, and we can get those people vaccinated, that 80 million or so who are not vaccinated, I estimate, and it's purely an estimate, that by the time we get to the spring and people come outdoors again as opposed to being inside, I believe that we can get to some degree of normality that approximates what we would like to be. But it's up to us, Gail.
All right, Dr. Fauci, we thank you for the message. Step up, people. We hear you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.